Okay, chapter 9, design of base plate. So ito yung mga learning outcome natin for this chapter. Be familiar with the design of column base plate. Also to understand the design of beam bearing plates. Define yung components ng base plates natin. Okay. Enumerate types of connection for the column base support. Okay. And paano siya ini-idealize. Differentiate mode of failure under base plate and bearing plates. Also, these two topics was discussed on section 510.8 and point 10 of NSCP code. So, okay. So, introduction muna tayo. Okay. So, this model of a certain structure was one of my previous project way back, I think 2022 or 2023. Okay. Somewhere in Batangas. Okay. That uses base plate. Okay. So, this is a portal frame. Portal frame structure. Yung portal frame kasi, ito yun, to be specific. Usually, applicable to on single-story steel structure. Na ang requirement is merong large open floor plans. Walang column dun sa pinaka-center ng structure mo. Okay? As much as possible, obstructed yung floor spaces mo. Yun yung usual na requirement. And usually applicable yan sa mga industrial and commercial buildings. Like mga warehouse. Okay? So ito yung project na to. So this is STAAD, STAAD software yung ginamit ko. Okay? So we would enumerate yung mga structural members. So basically yan yung portal frame, yung system na ginamit natin dito. You have this steel column, okay? And you have the concrete pedestal, okay? Usually kasi hindi natin talaga binabaon yung ating steel column papaabutin natin hanggang footing, okay? Kasi una kakalawangin siya and hindi natin makita kung nakabaon yung steel natin, member natin. Okay? So ang nangyari ngayon kung yung natural grade line or yung parang pinaka-finish ground level somewhere andito, makita mo yung pinaka-end nung or top nung concrete pedestal mo. So kaya nag-introduce tayo ng concrete pedestal para ma-investigate natin kung mayroong failure dun sa connection nung concrete and nung steel column, okay? So ito yung concrete pedestal natin, okay? Obviously concrete yan. You have the footing, okay? And then we also have tie beam, okay? Yung ibang term dito is grade beam, okay? And then yung location na to, obviously yan yung location kung saan natin i-install yung ating base plate. Okay? Minsan gumagamit din tayo ng cross bracing, dun sa ating framing system to help against lateral displacement. Okay? Specifically yung wind load. Most likely siya yung critical pag steel structure. Okay? So, yun yung requirement natin as much as possible. Expose yung ating base plate para nakikita natin for inspection purposes. Okay? Now, ito yung actual constructed project. By the way, so ibang project to, pero same system lang din yung ginagamit at the same location ng project or sabihin natin same different structure to. Okay? So, you can see here na ito yung parang pinaka base plate natin, okay? And we have the concrete pedestal. Okay? So, how do you think this was constructed, Okay, so yun yung discuss natin for today. Okay? Now, ito yung example ng column, steel column, wherein naka-welded na yung base plate mo, naka-weld na siya as one. So, ang ginagawa, dinideliver na lang to on-site. You can see here na meron siyang mga piece mark, or ibang term dito is parang mga letters or numbers. So yung purpose niyan is for the fabricator, yung system yan ng fabricator para hindi magkakapalitan yung mga elements kung saan siya i-install. Okay? So yung system niyan kung saan yung location, okay? Kung paano yung order. So magkakaiba yan depende kung sino yung ano yung system na ginagamit ng fabricator. Okay? So yun yung mga practice na ginagawa in terms of the installation ng ating mga elements. Sige, discuss natin yung components ng base plate. So, in terms of the base plate, meron tayong iba't ibang components. So, you need to understand ano ba yung function ng each component. So, for example, for the base plate, which is obviously a steel material, yung on this case ito yon, yung somehow brown in color, Ang purpose niyan is to to carry yung loads na galing sa column. Okay? And ang gagawin niya is it would disperse or distribute yung load na galing sa column evenly dun sa ating concrete pedestal. So ang mangyayari kasi kung wala kang base plate, halimbawa steel column connected directly sa concrete pedestal, masyadong malaki yung yung mga loadings natin minsan sa steel column natin. And kung ganito yung section natin, no, wide flange, yan, kumbaga masyadong matalim yung section natin, ang nangyayari is napapunch or nagka-clash yung concrete natin kung directly connected siya. Okay? So, to avoid that scenario na mag-crash yung concrete natin, which is a mode of failure sa ating connection, we need to distribute evenly yung ating column loads. So, through the use of base plate. Okay? So, yun yung gamit ng pinaka-base plate natin. As I mentioned, usually, shop welded na, no, yung ating base plate sa bottom ng ating steel columns. Okay? Minsan, by the way, hindi lang siya connected sa concrete pedestal. May mga scenario na kung saan yung base plate natin is nakakonect siya sa slab. Okay? Minsan nakakonect sa beam, minsan nakakonect sa pile caps, okay? Or minsan directly sa footing. Okay? So, may mga ganong scenario. Okay? So, yung purpose niya, no, ng base plate is also to resist yung, as I mentioned, yung loads na galing sa column, may it be axial loads, shear, or moment. Okay? So, yun yung mga usual na forces acting dun sa natin, sa columns natin. Okay? Next is yung anchor rods. Okay? Yung anchor rods na yan, ito mga to. Okay? So, yung purpose nito is to extend from the base plate to the grout and into the concrete foundation. So, they would connect the base plate to the foundation and transfer the columns load. Okay? So, obviously, itong anchor rods natin, hanggang yan, at a certain distance yan, o kaya may tinatawag siyang appropriate embedment length, okay, which is nasa coding yan, as a holding mechanism dun sa ating column and base plate. Halimbawa, yung forces na acting dun sa ating column is tension. Halimbawa, tension. So, pataas. So, dapat may mag-release sa kanya, no? Which is itong si anchor bolts. So, isa yun sa mga function ni anchor bolts. Okay. Usually, yung ating anchor bolts, para mag-kasya siya dun sa ating system, yung ating base plate, in-extend natin to, no, at a certain distance from the face ng ating column. Usually, 50 mm or 2 inch per side. So, halimbawa, nag-extend ka dito ng 50, doon sa kabila mag-extend ka rin ng 50, all in all, 100 mm yung ilalaki nung base plate mo with reference doon sa column mo para magkasya yung mga mag-alat ka ng space for the anchor rods. Okay? Sa installation ng anchor rods. So, ganun yung strategy, no? Dapat mag-aalat ka ng space for the anchor rods. Next is yung grouting. Okay? So, yung grouting na tinatawag, or on this scenario, grout pad, ang purpose nito, no? Minsan kasi during construction, kapag na-layout na yung bakal ng ating reinforcement ng ating concrete pedestal and nakaabang na yung anchor rods natin or anchor bolts natin dun sa ating installation, no, meron silang system din kung paano nila iaabang. Ang ginagawa natin is pinopormahan na natin tapos binubuhusan na natin ng concrete. Okay? Now, minsan yung concrete natin, specifically dito sa top level ng ating concrete pedestal, hindi level. No, hindi siya level. Now, critical 'yon kapag yung base plate kinonect mo directly sa concrete pedestal tapos hindi siya level, it would create unnecessary load dun sa ating steel. And possibly, pag in-install mo na yung mga kadikit niya na or yung mga connecting elements niya dito, beams no, or girders, magkakaroon ka ng problem. So, ang ginagawa natin is we need to make sure na naka-level, no, depende sa plano, yung pinaka base plate natin as per the construction drawing for issued for construction. Okay? So, to make sure na naka-level siya, ang ginagawa natin, naglalagay tayo ng grouting. Okay? So, cement tissues material, okay, that fills the gap between the base plate and the concrete na to ensure na naka-level yung ating base plate, and ang ibig sabihin noon mata-transfer no yung ating load appropriately, okay, doon sa ating concrete pedestal. Ang requirement ni code, dapat yung strength ng grout mo, no, concrete grout mo is mas mataas, no, doon sa strength ng concrete pedestal, no. Parang connection lang 'yan, no. Ang requirement natin laging mas mataas yung strength ng ating connection. Okay? Now, okay, so basically, no, yun lang yung purpose ng ating concrete grout, to make sure na or to ensure na in full contact yung ating base plate with the concrete pedestal. And then obviously yung ating concrete pedestal or concrete foundation, that would be the solid base upon which the base plate and the column would rest. Okay? We also use nut and washer. Okay, like ito mga to, no? So ang gamit niyan obviously is to tighten no yung ating anchor bolt in place, and on some scenario yung mga washer natin na nilalagay dito is to ano to distribute and the load and prevent the nut from potentially pulling no through oversized holes in the base plate. Okay? So parang ano locking mechanism din siya kapag meron kang washer dito na malaki. Okay? Now okay na tayo in terms of the components. So medyo ihimay-himay natin no yung individual. For example, let's discuss yung anchor rod details. Now yung anchor rod, okay, may dalawang system kung paano siya ini-install. Okay? Yung common is yung cast in place na tinatawag, no? Or kapag sinabing cast in place, ito yung in situ, no? Or ano, kumbaga field installation, no? Kumbaga hindi mo pa bubuhusan yung parang pinaka-porma ng concrete pedestal mo, nakaabang na doon yung mga anchor rod mo. Okay, nakaabang na. Tapos kapag na-install mo na or na porma mo na yung location ng exact location ng anchor rods mo and sigurado ka na yun talaga, tsaka mo bubuhusan ng ano ng concrete. So matutuyo yung concrete mo, magko-cure, naka-install na no, in place yung ano mo, yung anchor rods mo. So yun yung tinatawag nating cast in place. May mga scenario na kung saan um, may mga project, existing buildings, no, na kung saan gusto mong maglagay ng base plate or any connections, hindi na advisable, obviously hindi na workable yung ano, yung cast in place. So ang gagamit ka na ng tinatawag na ano, post fix na installation. So ang gagawin doon is kakat ka ng section doon sa concrete, tapos i-install mo yung anchor rod mo, tapos lalagyan mo ng adhesive. Ang usual adhesive natin is epoxy, no? Epoxy gel, okay? Yan ilalagay natin to make yung ano mo monolithic with the concrete. Okay? So may iba't iba pang system. I would like you to do the reading, but ito yung pinaka-common na dalawa, okay? On how we would install yung ating anchor rods. Okay? By the way, in terms of strength, ang usual daw na mas matibay itong ano, cast in place in comparison with the post fix installation. Okay? Yeah, additional details in terms of drawings, no? Ito yung detail A and B. So this one applies for cast in place na anchorad. Okay? Ito naman is detailing nito is for epoxy or yung ating post fix na tinatawag itong details. Okay? Now in terms of what would be the types of anchor bolts, may iba't iba kasing strategy na pwedeng gawin, no? So pinaka-end ng anchor bolts mo. So ito yung mga usual, no? Hook, meron kang plate washer, meron kang double nut, and meron kang headed or parang naka-weld siya dun sa pinaka-anchor rod mo. Okay? Ang usual na ginagamit daw is yung heavy hex nut. Okay, I think ito 'yon. Tapos yung or headed and yung hook end. Okay, ito 'yon. Parang J-bend, no? During concrete placement. Okay? And usually 20 millimeter diameter, grade 36 rod ang ginagamit. Okay? So again, yung hooks would have a lower capacity. Okay? In comparison with this system. Okay? In terms of anchor rod details, marami siyang mode of failure na pwedeng mangyari. Okay? So for example, if you have a tension force acting dun sa anchor rod mo, ito daw yung failure sa steel. So dito ang nangyari, tension failure, no? Kasi yung load mo is parallel with the area. Ito naman concrete breakout. So scenario na to, ang hindi mahina yung steel, ang mahina yung concrete mo. Okay? Surrounding yung steel mo. Okay? This one is pull out. So para nangyari ngayon, ang nangyari is okay yung concrete mo or yung steel mo pero na-pull out or may nahila yung ano mo, yung pinaka anchor rods mo. Dito naman is side face blowout, no? And on this one is shear yung action mo. Okay? So meron kang steel failure. So obviously shear failure to. Okay? Kasi perpendicular yung load. Okay? We have a concrete breakout like so. Ito yung mga example. Okay? And concrete pry out. Okay? So ibig sabihin ang dami talagang mode of failure for base plate design. Okay? Usually to make sure na accurate yung installation ng ating mga connections sa base plate, we usually it was being surveyed, no, to check na correct position tayo. Okay? So gumagamit tayo ng depende yan sa sa contractor. Okay? Total station. Okay? Now, pusin tayo sa column base plate. Ito yung usual na detail ng column base plate. Sabi natin na shop welded siya. Okay? So meron niyang iba't ibang holes for anchorad, and minsan holes for grouting. Okay? Another detail ng base plate. Okay? Okay? Usually, now may mga contractor na ginagawa nila aside from the grouting, concrete grout, naglalagay pa sila ng tinatawag na leveling plates. So yung leveling plates na to, mga 7 to 5 millimeter thick na plate. Ang purpose niyan is to make sure na naka-level talaga yung concrete grout bago ka pa maglagay ng base plate na naka-welded na sa steel column. Okay? So depende yan kung sino yung fabricator nyo. Okay? So ito example ng leveling plates na manipis lang to. Okay? Bago mo ilalagay yung pinaka-base plate mo. Ito yung detail ng different detail ng base plate. So may iba't ibang location ng anchorage. Okay? So depende sa design mo. Okay? Okay, for types of connection, considering this framing system, we could say na anything na from the finished ground level or above would be superstructure, no? And below would be substructure, yan yung tawag natin. Okay? Now, on this level, okay, dun sa connection ng steel and nung steel column and concrete pedestal, dun tayo nakafocus, no? Ang question kasi is, ano ka ba? Pin ka ba or fixed connection? Yan ang tanong eh. No? Yan ang tanong. In terms of the column support fixity, okay, dun sa base natin, pin ka ba or fixed? So, depende yan, no? Para malaman kung ano yung gagamitin mo. Depende yan kung ano yung assumption ng designer. Okay? Ang sagot dito, number one is, ano ba yung assumption ng designer? Okay? Ano ba yung assumption niya in terms of lateral stability? Okay? And ano yung fixity ng columns? And he or she, no, kailangan niyang i-detail yan dun sa kanyang drawing appropriately. Okay? Halimbawa, moment connection ba siya? Dapat yung detail nun sa drawing is for a moment connection. Okay? Otherwise, magkakaroon ka ng problem, no? Dun sa idealized structure mo to the actual and constructed structure mo. Okay? Now again, no, in terms of the types of connection, dalawa yan. Okay? Sa base plate, yung pin connection na tinatawag, ito yung connection na kung saan it could transmit axial and shear forces only. Okay? So yung counterpart niya, ito. Okay? Ito yung elevation, meron kang axial compressive load, P, and shear, no? Horizontal shear force, B. So pag tumingin ka sa top view niya, ito yung makita mo. Okay? Yan yung pin connection. Makikita mo na yung sa connection na to, yung parang pinaka-angle, no, ayan, no? Yung angle mo, aside from the fact na possibly naka-weld ka, okay, yung angle mo is connected sa web nung steel column. Okay? So ibig sabihin, kapag naglagay ka ng diyan, ng any force that would create or any moment, it would allow, no, rotation kasi nga pin connection ka. Okay? So ganito siya din detail. Okay? Similarly, no, yung isang types is the fixed connection, which means it would transmit moments in addition to the axial and shear force. Okay? So ito na yung mga loadings natin ngayon. So you can see na iba yung detailing niya, yung connection niya dun sa base plate from the steel to the steel column is naka-connected yung flange mo. Okay? Ng steel column. So yung effect niyan is it would hold down in place yung pinaka steel column mo to the base plate. Imimimic niya yung fixed connection. So in this one, there would be it would resist any rotational movement. Okay? Now, ang question is, kapag nasa practice na kayo or nagdi-design na kayo, no? Ano yung appropriate types of connection na dapat mong gamitin? Fix ba or pin? Or pin ba or fix? Okay? So itong table na to would give you an idea kung ano ba dapat gamitin mo. Okay? So for example, no, itong first row, we have the application. So for pin connection daw, usually ginagamit yan kapag yung deflection requirements mo are very stringent and the structure needs to be more flexible. Okay? Kasi nga, pinind mo eh. So, flexible yung structure mo. Similarly, kung fix ka, usually ginagamit daw to kapag yung column mo needs to be rigidly connected to the foundation. And therefore, it would resist any bending moments, no? And it would provide stability. Okay? In terms of example, ng ating pin connection, a simple building or sabihin natin one-story, no, building frame with columns connected to a foundation can have a pinned bases at the bottom. Okay? Allowing for some movement and flexibility. Similarly, on the fixed naman, for an example nito, no? So in structures where the columns are subjected to large bending moments, so ang halimbawa nito, yung tall building or high-rise, no? Fixed connection at the base are often used to provide greater resistance to these large bending moments. Okay? So yun yung usual na in practice. Similarly, yung epekto nito or implication nito, kapag pinned connection yung ginamit mo, okay? It would results into larger steel section sizes for the superstructure, yung columns mo specifically. Okay? Bakit Kasi nga yung moment mo binubuhat nung mga columns mo, no, hindi nung ano mo, nung base plate mo. Okay? In effect, lumalaki yung superstructure mo, yung mga sizes ng columns. Ibig sabihin nun, smaller foundations. Okay? Kasi nga nalipat sa ano mo sa superstructure or sa columns. In terms of design, mas madali siyang i-design kapag pin connection and install na rin. Okay? And usually since smaller loads sa connection, yung base plate mo would be thinner in comparison with fixed connection or mas manipis. Now kapag fixed ka naman, implication niyan would be yung moments mo would be transferred in the foundation and ibig sabihin larger uh, size ng foundations. Okay? Which means expensive yung foundation mo. Okay? In terms of the design, mas matagal siyang gawin in comparison with the pinned connection. And usually mas makapal yung base plate natin. Okay? So yun yung pinaka clue no, kapag nagdi-design na kayo kung ano ba yung appropriate types of connection doon sa sa base support nyo. Okay? Let me emphasize lang na on this discussion, we would focus only on pin connection. Okay? So, hindi tayo magdi-discuss ng any fixed connection as it would be matrabaho, no? And sa board exam naman usually hindi lumalabas si fixed connection. Okay? In terms of mode of failure, quickly discuss lang natin. So ito yung iba't ibang mode of failure na pwedeng mangyari sa base plate connection natin. So ang dami, no? Halimbawa, flexural failure or bending of the base plate, okay? Bearing failure of concrete, weld failure no? Dun sa steel column and base plate, tension failure of anchor rods, shear failure of anchor rods. So ang dami, no? Hindi lang pwede rin sa concrete, okay? Okay? And then meron din combined effects. Okay? So ibig sabihin ang daming mode of failure, okay? For a given base plate. Now, to simplify our discussion, ililimit natin 'yon, okay? But to give you an idea, okay, in terms of stress distribution dun sa base plate natin, magkakaiba yan depende sa ano yung magnitude ng loads na naka-apply. Okay? Halimbawa, no, mag-focus muna tayo dito sa right-hand side. If for some reason axial compressive load lang yung naka-apply sa base plate mo, okay? Ang nangyayari is you would have a uniform stress distribution like so. Okay? Now, if meron ka daw axial load and a small moment, so ayan meron kang load PU and load MU, small moment lang to, no? Yung stress distribution mo daw doon sa base plate mo is somehow trapezoidal in shape. No? So meron kang minimum, okay, and meron kang maximum. Okay? By the way, yung analogy nito is somehow similar kung paano kayo magdi-design ng footing. Okay? So similar siya on the design of footing. Okay? Now, in terms of scenario na kung saan axial load and moment, pero in this case, large moment ka, ang nangyayari ngayon, kasi ang nangyayari from trapezoidal, nagiging triangular to lumilit na lumilit hanggang yung stress mo andito sa side na lang na to. Okay? And then, for simplification, ang nangyayari, ito na lang, yung nagiging stress distribution, parang somehow similar to RCD nyo. So, nagiging uniform stress na lang to dito, tapos ma-activate na tong pinaka-anchorage mo as a tension. Okay? So, parang couple. This one would resist or resist each other. Okay? So parang ganoon, no? Yung magiging scenario or stress distribution pagdating sa sa different types of loading. Okay? Kaya in terms of analysis, may case to case yan. Okay? Now, let me emphasize again. On our discussion, we would focus only on this scenario. Axial compressive load only. Okay? In terms of mode of failure, simplify natin yung discussion natin. We would focus only on these two na mode of failure, which is the flexural failure or bending of the base plate and the bearing failure of the concrete. Okay? Again, let me emphasize ulit, axial compressive force, walang shear and walang moment. Okay? Okay, pin connection, axial compression, load only. Okay? Now, let's proceed dun sa bearing on concrete. Okay? Ito yung mga formulas na kailangan nating i-discuss muna kung paano ba na-derive. Okay? Now, in terms of code provisions, NEC 2015, diniscuss siya on section 510.8. Okay? So, ang sabi niya dito, okay, on bearing on concrete, yun daw tinatawag nating nominal bearing strength. Okay? So, emphasize on the word na ginamit, strength. So, meaning ang units is in kilonewton. Okay? Bearing, ang ibig sabihin nun, nagkakaroon ka ng crashing dun sa concrete. Okay? Yun yung effect niya. Yung nominal bearing strength mo daw, kapag case 1, full area of concrete support, discuss natin ano ibig sabihin yan mamaya. Yung formula mo daw is F sub P, P sub P is equal to 0.85 F prime C or FC prime times A sub 1. Okay? So yung mga formula, by the way, na gagamitin natin on design of base plate, lahat galing lang dito eh, no? Sa classic formula na stress is equal to load P divided by area. No? Nire-rearrange lang natin. Okay? So lahat ng formula, let me repeat, galing lang dito. Okay? For example, itong formula na to, okay? Yung formula na yan, in terms of ano yan? In terms of load yan. So you could say na ano eh, P is equal to stress times area. Okay? So yung stress, ito yon. Okay? Okay? Yun yung stress. Yung area, ito naman yon. Okay? Kaya meron kang ano, parang load or strength. Ang unit nito in kilonewton. Okay? Now, in terms of, tuloy pa natin, no, on column or base bearing on concrete, may mga scenario kasi na kung saan, by the way, yung ano pala natin, no, under strength natin for LRFD, specifically for bearing in concrete is 0.65 and 2.31 no, for the omega for ASD. Okay? Now, may mga scenario kasi na kung saan case 2 ka, which mean to say less than the full area of concrete support, nagbabago na yung formula mo. Okay, ito na yung magiging equation mo. Okay? Medyo humaba na yung equation mo. Okay? Siguro discuss natin kung ano ibig sabihin yan on the next page. No, but basahin muna natin kung ano ba yung mga parameters. Okay? Halimbawa, yung A sub 1. Yung A sub 1 daw is the area of steel concentrically bearing on a concrete support. In short, ito yung area ng base plate. No? Si area 1. Si A2 naman is the maximum area of the portion of the supporting surface. No? Yung supporting surface natin, ito yung concrete. No? Yung concrete pedestal. That is geometrically similar to a concentric with the loaded area, but with a twist, sabihin natin ganun. Okay? So, kailangan mo pa rin siya calculate, no? Pero kukunin mo siya dun sa sa supporting concrete. Okay? And then meron kang F prime C, no, which is sabi sa NSCP 7 tapos question mark, no. So, actually, this is one of the typo error kay NSCP 2015. I'm not sure kung this is a first printing nung volume 7 or 7th edition. Sorry, 7th edition ng NSCP, which is 2015. Now, kung sa second edition na-correct na to, ay nagbago na, paki-ano na lang, no, paki-comment na lang. But to give you an idea, no, yung F prime C na yan, yung equivalent niyan is the 28-day compressive strength. Okay, in MPa. Okay, now, na-discuss ko na yung mga parameters na to. Sa next page, i-detail natin kung ano yung mga ibig sabihin niya. Pero gusto ko lang i-discuss kung saan ba galing yung 0.85 FC prime sa equation natin na to. Kasi di ba sabi natin load P is equal to stress times area. Now, in terms of the code kasi, kung magre-refer ka kay ACI 2014, yung permissible, no, kumbaga allowed bearing stress on concrete, no? Mind the term, stress. No, stress, hindi strength, no, is 0.85 FC prime, no? And this was suggested by Hawkins way back 68. Okay? Ang sabi niya, yun daw stress dito is 0.85 FC prime. Kaya you could see na yung naging equation natin dito, ito, galing kay Hawkins. Okay? And then, on case 2, so may equation tayo dito. Okay? So discuss natin mamaya on the next page. But to give you an idea, no? To give you an idea, yung ating column base plate na i-design is relevant, no? Relevant with the concrete bearing strength. Now, to be specific, kung ano yung base plate area natin, it would be governed by the concrete strength. No, halimbawa, kapag mahina yung concrete strength mo, ang nangyayari, lumalaki yung base plate dimension mo to distribute evenly, no, yung loadings mo from steel column and para hindi mag-fail yung concrete mo against bearing. Okay? So ano siya, no? Related sila, no? Related yung concrete strength with the base plate area. Okay? Now, let's discuss muna yung A1 and A2. Okay? Kasi ang sabi sa code, no? I-recap lang natin yung mga formula. For case 1 ito 'yon. Okay? Sabihin natin yung area 1 mo daw, ang sabi for case 1 is equal to area 2. Parang ganun lang sinasabi niya, no? On full support. You could see here na ito yung elevation, yung blue, yan yung base plate. Yung maroon, ito yung concrete pedestal. Kapag nag-equal daw yung area 1 to area 2, no, yung area 2 is the area of baga, or yung area ng pedestal. Okay? Yung formula na gamitin mo is ito. Okay, automatic. Okay? Now, on second case, ito yung formula natin. Ito yung scenario na kung saan yung base plate mo, itong blue, okay, na rectangle, is mas maliit, no, in comparison with the area ng concrete pedestal, itong maroon. Okay? So, ang sabi kasi ni code, no? Um, kapag lumalaki, kapag mas malaki yung area ng concrete pedestal mo with respect to the area ng base plate, well, dapat i-magnify mo, no? Dapat i-magnify mo by a certain factor yung ano mo, yung nominal bearing strength mo. Okay? F sub P. Kaya mapansin mo dito, no, yung formula mo from case 1 na 0.85 FC prime area 1, parang ito na rin 'yon, 'di ba? Ito na rin 'yon. Ang nangyari lang, minagnify niya at a certain ratio or a certain factor. Yung factor na 'yon is yung square root of area 2 over area 1 sa scenario na 'to. Okay? Yun lang sabi ni code. Kasi nga pag nilalakihan mo yung concrete pedestal, ang nangyayari, yung distribution nung stresses from the base plate nag-iiba na, no? Nag-iiba na. Ang nangyari, naging ganito na. So nadi-disperse siya sa mas malaking area, no? So yung pinaka-end nung dispersion na yan yung tinatawag nating area 2. Okay? Area 2. Okay? So yun, no? Yung area na to for area 2. Now, in terms of this scenario, yung assumption natin diyan is una, yung base plate mo is and concrete pedestal, yung centroid nila are concentric. So for example, yung centroid ng ating base plate andito, yung centroid ng ating pedestal andito rin, okay? And yung ano natin is both square section, no? Yung to simplify yung assumption natin dito. Okay? Now, in terms of the code, no? In terms of the code, kung i-analyze natin yung factor na to, okay? Yung factor na yan, meron kasing limit yan. Okay? Meron yang limit. Okay? Merong limit yan. To be specific, yung daw limit na yan, ang maximum value niyan is 2. Okay? 2. Now, to give an idea, no, kung paano naging, well, teka muna, no, ituloy pa natin pala yung equation. No, aside from this equation for case 2, you also need to compare with, it should be less than or equal 1.7 FC prime area 1. Okay? So, kung sino mas mababa sa dalawang equation, for case 2, siya yung mag-govern. Okay? So, kung saan, okay, so let me rephrase that. Ang sabi ni code, yung ratio na to, no, nung area na yan, limited lang yan to 2. Okay? Kumbaga parang sinasabi niya na kapag masyado nang malaki yung concrete pedestal mo, halimbawa sobrang laki na ng area ng concrete pedestal mo, ibig sabihin ba nun yung area na i-disperse mo from the concrete is isasagad mo kung ano man yung area ng concrete pedestal mo? Hindi, no? At a certain ratio lang, at a ratio 2. Okay? Kasi parang hindi na effective na na hanggang dulo nung kung gaano kalaki yung area ng pedestal mo. Yun yung magre-resist in terms of the bearing. Okay? So ang sabi niya hanggang lang 2.0. Okay? So kung paano na yan, na-generate yung 2.0, basically ito siya, no? Ito 'yon. Ito yung equation na 'yon. So to be specific, no, kung kukuha tayo ng calculator, ipakita ko lang sa inyo. Okay? 'Di ba yung value na to somehow yung galing kasi yan dito eh. No? Galing din yan dito. Okay? So for example, no, kung ipa-plug in natin yung ratio na to, yung 0.85, no, 0.85. Tapos ang sabi natin yung ratio daw na to, limited lang sa value na 2. So i-times natin by 2, okay? This one would give us a value of 1.7. So yung 1.7 na yun, ito yun. Okay? And then meron kang FC prime, ito rin yun. And when you have area 1, okay? Area 1. Okay? So doon galing yun yung 1.7 na itong second term equation na to on the right hand side. Okay? So basically yun yung limit, no, ng ating distribution ng ating stresses from the area ng base plate to the area ng ating, which is area 1, to the area 2, no? Or yung area concentric with the with the concrete pedestal. Okay? Okay? Sige. So yeah, for the sake of demonstration, let's say this is equation 1 and this one is equation 2. Okay? By the way, yung ibang student, ang ginagawa nila, isang equation lang yung minimemorize nila. Bakit? Ito equation 2 lang, no? Bakit? Kasi mapansin mo kung yung area 2 and area 1 nag-equal, ang mangyayari itong equation na to magiging 1, no? And square root of 1 is 1. So parang maka-cancel out lang to. Ang equation mo pa rin is ito, which is also similar to this to equation 1. Okay? Okay? Now another example nung calculations ng area 2 kasi ang daming student na nalilito, no? In terms of the calculation ng area 2. So nagbigay tayo ng example dito para mas maintindihan, no, kung paano ba kina-calculate yung area 2. So example number 1 natin is application in terms of the step or slope support dun sa frustum ng area 2. Okay? But on this one, hindi na concentric yung centroid ng base plate with the centroid ng concrete pedestal. So ano ba mangyayari dito? So ito yung pinaka-plan, okay, ng ating base plate. And ito naman yung pinaka-elevation. You could see na yung pinaka-base plate mo, ito yon yung blue. Okay? Yung blue section. Okay? or blue lines. Yan yung base plate mo. Pag tinignan mo sa elevation, ito yung location ng base plate mo, pinaka-width niya. Okay? Now, yung area 2, okay? Para makalculate yung area 2, which is this one, okay? Based dito sa level ng plane na to, ang gagawin mo, you need to make sure, kuha ka ng sukat dito, okay? Itong line na to, okay? Tapos kuha ka din ng line papunta ron, okay? And dapat yung dalawang line na yan is equal. Okay? Kasi i-distribute mo evenly na parang frustum ka no? Parang frustum ka. Okay? So equal dapat yan. Now, ang limit niyan kung sino yung side na unang ma-reach. Kumbaga, sa case na to, yung side na to yung unang na-reach, tapos na no? Yung distribution. Kasi hanggang dun lang Halimbawa, sa side na to. Okay? Ito yung counterpart niya. Okay? Hanggang dun lang yung distribution. So yun na yung basis ng ating calculation. Okay? So yung pinaka-area talaga ng basis ng area 2, okay? Is ito. Okay? Itong hidden maroon colored line na to. Okay? So ito yung sa plan, ito naman yung sa elevation. Okay? Just to take note lang, okay? Yung slope ng distribution natin as per code, that is 2:1. Okay? 2 yung ating horizontal, 1 yung ating vertical. Okay? Yung distribution ng ating for the area 2 calculations. Now, in terms of example number 2, ito naman for concrete footing. No, yung steel column natin or yung base plate natin, no, naka-connected directly sa footing mo. Okay? Now, sa case na to, as per the code, kung gusto mong i-calculate yung area 2, no, halimbawa, ito yung area ng ating base plate, area 1. Okay? Kung i-distribute mo daw yan, okay, that is 2:1 na rule no, ng slope. Kukunin mo lang daw yan dun sa effective depth nung nung reinforcement mo. Yan ang rule ni code. Okay? For concrete footing. So yung definition kasi ng effective depth, no, yung I'm not sure kung ano yung nomenclature no, na ginagamit nyo sa RCD. But on this one, D sub F, no, ang definition yan is from the concrete cover to the centroid of your reinforcement. No, yan yung effective depth. Kunin mo lang daw doon sa distance na yon, yan yung location kung saan doon mo i-base yung pinaka area 2 calculations. Okay? Okay, I think enough of that, no? Let's proceed pa dun sa bearing on concrete. Okay, yung mga assumption natin. So say for example, you have your steel column and meron kang base plate. Yung assumption natin is axial load, compression, okay, load P. No? Now, common sense yan, no? Kung i-consider mo yung free body diagram, kung meron kang downward na load P, it would be resisted by your concrete. And meron kang usually uniform upward pressure no to resist yung downward load P mo. Okay? So ibig sabihin yung pressure dito sa pinaka base plate natin, sabihin natin small letter F sub P, no? Uniform upward pressure to resist yung load P natin. Okay? So let me repeat, yung assumption natin shear is 0, moment is 0, okay? And therefore yung ating pressure here is uniform, no? Now, the actual, no, uniform concrete stress na tinatawag, pag sinabing actual, ito yung based sa actual loads, no, na ina-apply mo, okay? Would be based dun sa equation na small letter F sub P. Okay, ito yon, yung stress dun sa ating bottom of our base plate is equal to the load P applied divided by yung area ng base plate, area 1. Okay, common sense yon. Okay? By the formula na stress is equal to a load P divide area. Okay? Gusto ko i-emphasize itong actual, ang symbol na ginamit niya is small letter F. Okay? Small letter F. So sabihin natin equation 3 to. Okay? So, to take note lang, no, to calculate yung load P, pwedeng maging load PU yan or load PA, depende kung LRFD or ASD na design philosophy. Okay? So yung P sub U, na-calculate yan based on sa factored load using LRFD load combination. P sub A, unfactored load using ASD load combination. Okay? Now, in terms of the limiting, no, or permissible concrete bearing strength, kung dun sa previous slide, we're dealing with the actual concrete stress, which is basically dependent dun sa actual load P na in-apply mo dun sa base plate mo, meron tayong kailangang i-compare sa kanya, yung tinatawag nating limiting or permissible concrete bearing stress. No? Ito lang kasi yung limit, no? And yung magdi-dictate diyan, well, yung limit ng concrete no? Yung bearing stress dun sa concrete natin. Okay? Now, kung babalik kasi tayo, no, let me go back dun sa ating equation dun sa pinakasimula. Okay? So dito, no? Dito nung pinakita natin yung ating equation, if we would go back, yung ating formula is simply stress is equal to P over area, no? Halimbawa, gusto kong kunin yung load P. So, basically I would have load P is equal to stress times area, no? Now, if we would compare kasi no yung stress, 'di ba sabi natin on case 1 ito talaga yung stress, no, permissible stress as per Hawkins, 0.85 FC prime, 'di ba? What if for case 2 ano ba yung equivalent nung stress sa formula natin? Well, ito 'yon. Actually ito 'yon. Ito 'yon. Itong 0.85 FC prime for case 2 and yung factor na to. Okay? Ito yung yung value na yan. Okay? Yan yung equivalent ng permissible stress for case 2. Okay? So, ibig sabihin itong equation na yan, yan yung ano talaga, yung stress natin on this equation. And yung area 1. Okay? Now, if we would go back dun sa slide na yon, okay, balik tayo dun sa slide na to. We could say na from equation 2, yung stress, no? Again, on this one, this is the limiting stress. Okay? Pero ngayon, ang ginamit nating letter is capital letter F. Okay? Dun sa ating base plate would be 0.85 FC prime square root of A sub 2 over A sub 1, which is in-explain ko na kanina kung paano nakuha. Okay? So, kino-compare din siya with 1.7 FC prime. Okay? Sabihin natin equation number 4 to. Okay? So, ito yung mga given. Okay? Kung paano siya kina-calculate. No? Another equation. Okay? Now, in terms of the base plate kasi, no? Gusto kong i-emphasize yung dimension ng base plate na to. So, for example, ito yung figure natin for base plate. Ito yung area, no, ng ating base plate. And yung area would be dependent dun sa dimension B and dimension N. Okay? Distance B and distance N. So, considering those dimension, we could say na the limiting area, okay, is also equal to yung area ng base plate, which is the side or dimension B times N. Okay? So, kung babalikan natin yung formula, no, nung stress natin, is equal to P over A. So, meaning area is equal to, pagpalit natin yung location ng stress, okay? So, you can see here, no, this is area. Yung numerator is load P sub N. Yung denominator is stress. So, yung equivalent nun is from the previous slide, capital letter F sub P. Okay? Ito yung stress natin. Pero yung ginamit natin dito, yung base na sa limiting kasi hanggang dito lang talaga yung kayang i-resist ng ating ng concrete in terms of bearing strength. Okay? Now, sabihin natin equation number 5 to. Okay? Equation number 5 yan. Now, if we would proceed pa on our discussion, i-rearrange natin yung equation na yan in terms of stress. We would have this equation. Okay? Okay? I-rearrange natin. Okay? We would have capital letter F sub P is equal to the nominal load P, no, divided by the area, which is B times N. Okay? Sabihin natin equation 6 to. Okay? Now, to calculate yung P sub N, okay, meron tayong mga formula na ginagamit dito. So, pwede natin gamitin yung for ASD. Okay, ito yun. Okay? So, saan ba galing yan? Well, galing lang yan dito. P sub A is equal to P sub N divided by omega. Okay? Now, itong equation naman na to for P sub N in terms of LRFD, galing lang yan dito no? P sub U is equal to P times P sub N. Okay? So, rearrange mo lang. Okay? So, ito yung equation. Now, okay na tayo for concrete on bearing. Okay? Basically, ang naging end result natin is we already have the formula on how to calculate yung area. Okay? The next step is to discuss yung bending on base plate, no? Itong mode of failure na to. So, ano ba yung sabi ni code in terms of this one? Okay? In terms of bending sa plate kasi, kung i-investigate natin yung ating base plate, no? Dun sa base plate, meron tayong dalawang possible na na orientation. Pwedeng nakatayo yung base plate natin, pwedeng nakahiga like so. And in reality, yung base plate talaga natin, yung orientation niya, nakaganto, no? Nakahiga yung base plate natin. Okay? So, kung i-analyze mo, yung bending ng ating base plate is bending about minor axis ka. No? So, applicable sa UC 506.6, which is any I-shaped members or channel bent about their minor axis. And ang sabi ni code, for this scenario, the nominal flexural strength mo daw, M sub N, is simply equal to the plastic moment, which is also equal to the F sub Y times this the Z sub Y. No? Which is, yung definition nito is the plastic section modulus with respect to the y-axis. Okay? Kasi ganito yung orientation natin Okay? So, Z sub Y, minor axis yung gagamitin natin. Okay? So, meron na tayong first basis in terms of the design of our base plate. Now, para makalculate yung plastic section modulus ng ating solid rectangle, okay? Ang ginagawa natin, is actually, how to calculate yung plastic section modulus, hindi ko pa na-discuss. Okay? But to give you an idea, yung definition ng plastic section modulus, yan? It's a geometric property nung given cross section mo. Usually to used to resist yung bending nung apply dun sa section mo. But the assumption is on the plastic state no, or fully yielded na yung section mo. Kaya nga ano pasok ka sa plastic analysis, no? Yung kabaliktaran nito or counterpart nito yung S or the elastic section modulus. So ang counterpart nun is elastic analysis. Now, paano ba siya kina-calculate, no? Yung plastic section modulus. Meron tayong separate chapter dito to discuss yung ano na yan, para na tayo humaba. But to give you an idea, ang ginagawa dito is kung ano yung given section mo, i-divide mo lang siya equally into two, no? Yung area mo. I-divide mo yung area ng cross section mo equally into two. Sa case na to, since rectangular ka section, yung equal area mo nagko-coincide with the neutral axis. Okay? Equal area na division nasa neutral axis. Okay? And then ang sabi ng mga textbook to calculate yung plastic section modulus, kunin mo lang yung moment summation ng moment of area from the neutral axis or from the PNA or the plastic neutral axis. Now, pagdating dito kasi kay rectangular section, okay? Since ang sabi natin andyan yung ating neutral axis, we could say na no? If we would calculate, no? Sige, ipakita natin ng mabilis, para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay? So, for example, we have a rectangular section like so. Ito yung PNA or plastic neutral axis. Ang definition yan yung axis na kung saan i-divide niya equally into two yung area ng cross section mo. Okay? So, pagdating sa rectangular section, which is a symmetrical section, matic yon, nagko-coincide with the ENA or the elastic neutral axis. Okay? Ang sabi niya, kunin mo lang yung moment of area ng mga area, from the PNA. So, gagawin mo ngayon, no, halimbawa, if this distance is, sabihin natin distance B, okay? And this distance is distance D. Okay? We could say na yung distance na to is D over 2. Okay? D over 2. Now, sabi niya, kunin mo daw yung moment nung mga individual area to the PNA. So, ito yung centroid nung area from the top fiber. Okay? Tapos ito naman yung centroid nung area from the bottom fiber. Okay? So, for example, kunin ko yung moment of area nung top fiber or okay, that would be kunin mo muna yung area niya. So that would be that would be the distance B. Okay? Yung height niya is D over 2. Okay? Tapos yung moment arm niya, no? This would be this one. Okay? Okay? Moment of area daw. Okay? Which is also equal to no? This is also equal to D over 4. Okay? So times D over 4. Okay? Now, isang area pa lang to. Okay? Isang area pa lang yan. In reality, meron ka pang bottom area. So, ang pwede mong gawin dyan, no, to simplify your calculation, i-times 2 mo na lang. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, meron ka ng section modulus. Okay? Okay? So, ngayon, yung section modulus mo would be B, okay? D squared. Okay? So, meron kang 2 dito, meron kang 2 doon, cancel out, over 4. Okay? So, ito yung basis kung paano na-generate yung plastic section modulus nung nung rectangular section mo. Okay? So, that would be B H squared over 4, no? And therefore, kung isa-substitute natin from this equation, so i-delete ko na yung ating derivation. From this equation, f sub y times z sub y, no, ito na yon. I-plug in natin yung value ng z sub y. Sabi natin ito yung equivalent, no, value niya. We would have this equation. Okay? Pero paano nag-arrive dito? Well, basically yung distance b, ang tinutukoy niya dito, ito yung pinaka-length nung base plate mo na to. Assuming na this distance b. And yung pinaka-height niya is yung thickness ng plate. Okay? So ito na rin 'yon. Okay? 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 So ito na yung ating equation 8. So gagamitin natin 'to mamaya. Okay? Now, in terms of the code, okay? Kanina ko pa pinapakita tong figure na 'to kasi ito rin yung magiging basis nyo. Okay? Ng calculation ng mga parameters natin. Okay? Sabi kasi ni code, in terms of the steel column na nakadikit sa sa base plate, yung talagang critical area na tinatawag na magta-transmit ng force from the steel column to the base plate would be based on this yellow highlighted area. So ibig sabihin, no, yan yung critical area mo. And that area should be the basis doon sa calculation ng ating base plate thickness. Okay? Yan yung sabi ni code. Okay? And ang sabi ni code, no, yung daw dimension na to is naka-base yan sa naka-base daw ito doon sa dimension ng wide flange mo. Okay? Which is yung distance D. Okay? And distance B sub F. So halimbawa, if this is distance B sub F, ang sabi ni code, yun daw critical area on this side, which is ang sabi niya 80% lang nung B sub F. Yung talagang critical area na mag-resist ng mga loads mo sa base plate. Okay? 0.8 B sub F. Now, obviously, kung ito yung itong dimension na to is the area of our base plate, we could say na itong side na to as or length na to as length N for the sake of demonstration, and this side is also side N. Okay? Now, in terms of the side din naman, ang sabi ni code, hindi talaga lahat yan mag-resist, hindi yan yung critical area. Ang basis ni code is 0.95 lang nung distance di mo or yung depth ng white flange mo. Okay? And let's say na yung side na to as side M and this one as also side N. Side M. Okay? And then we have the side B, no, capital letter B, okay, which is along the flange width B sub F, and itong side N naman ng ating base plate, which is along the depth of our flange, wide flange na ginamit. Okay? So ang mangyayari ngayon, no, kung ganito daw yung system as per the code, para makalculate mo yung mga values na to, for example, yung M, okay, distance M, based dito sa values na yan, pwede mo siyang kunin dito no? Halimbawa, yung M natin is equal to N, no, yung distance N na to, tapos i-minus ko yung value ng 0.95, okay, which is ito. Ang matitira, itong distance na to, itong dalawa. Okay? Tapos i-divide ko na lang by 2. Okay? Ito. Okay? So meron tayong formula for M. Okay? Yung length M natin. Okay? Similarly, on yung length N naman natin, okay, ito yon. From the side or parameter B, capital B, okay, i-minus natin yung distance na to, yung 0.8 B sub F. Ang matitirang value yung N and itong N. Okay? So, and then i-divide natin by 2, meron tayong value ng N. Okay? So, ito na yon. Okay? So, from this slide, meron tayong formula nung distance M and distance N. I would suggest not to memorize ito. No? I would suggest not to memorize this one. But to refer or to memorize itong pinaka-format ng ating distribution or critical area for base plate with wide flange. Ito yung mahalaga eh. Kasi kung alam mo to, you could derive na no? yung pinaka-formula mo. Okay? For M and N. Okay? For distance M and N. Gusto ko lang i-emphasize, no? Dun sa assume bending lines na figure na to, yung pinaka hidden line na yan, diyan daw magbe-bend, no? Yung pinaka base plate mo. Yung length M, no, let me emphasize again, is along the distance or the parameter D and parameter N, yung sa base plate. Okay? And yung length N naman, okay, small letter N, is along B sub F, okay? And yung base plate dimension, capital letter B. Okay? So, ganoon na lang, no, para maalala natin kaagad. Okay? So, by the way, kapag check mo daw yung, di ba, ito yung assume bending lines natin sa natin, sa base plate natin. Pag tumingin ka sa elevation, ito yung makita mo. Okay? So, at this point, doon mag-start yung yung bending ng mo, ng plate mo. Parang may cantilever, no, na beam. Okay? So, in terms of analysis of base plate kasi usually yan eh. The assumption is two-way bending. Two-way bending yung mo, yung base plate mo. Kasi nga meron kang assume bending lines like so. Meron pa ganito, okay, meron din pa ganon. Okay? So, if you would refer dun sa figure na to, okay? Kung mag-refer ka sa bending lines na yan, ito yung mapansin mo. Okay? Tapos kung mag-refer ka naman sa bending line na to, ito yung mapansin mo. Okay? Ito yung pinaka-base plate. Okay? Okay? And the analysis, no, for simplification, we use the 1 millimeter strip, no, dito sa plate nito, okay, in terms of analysis. Okay, 1 millimeter strip lang yung ginagamit natin. And if we would refer, for example, on this side, okay, mag-take tayo ng example. From this assume bending lines, okay, tapos kumuha tayo ng strip doon, okay, yung bending lines na yan, synonymous din yan dito. Okay, dito. Now, siguro mas nalilito kayo, no? So ilipat natin, no, para mas madali. So assuming na ito yung assume bending lines natin. Okay? Tapos ito yung strip na ginamit natin. Okay? So lipat natin to. So sabi natin that is a 1 millimeter. Okay? Now for visualization purposes, kung considering itong bending lines na yan, which is also synonymous to this, pag tumingin ka sa elevation, ito yung makita mo. Okay? Meron kang stress dun sa base plate, meron kang thickness ng plate, okay? Tapos meron kang distance na to, which is on distance na to as distance M, okay, on this case. Or kapag nag-consider ka kasi on this side naman, okay, itong strip na to, ang makita mo naman doon yung distance N. Okay? So kaya nakalagay dito M or N. Okay? So whichever, kung ano man yung gamitin mo doon, okay? So assuming na yung derivation ng formula natin naka-base muna dito sa side na to. Okay? Along side N, okay? For simplification. Okay? So you could have this cantilever method. on this scenario. Okay? And if you would investigate further, okay? Kung ito yung cantilever method mo, nakapix ka dito sa assumed bending line kasi sabi niya, ito yung critical area no from this point. Yan, walang ano diyan, walang hindi magde-deflect yung part na yan ng base plate. Dito mag-start mag-deflect no doon sa boundary ng bending line. So ibig sabihin nakapix yan. Okay? So meron kang cantilever beam yung ano natin. Okay? So mangyari ngayon, kung meron kang stress at the bottom of your base plate, okay? So yung counterpart mo dito, ito. Ito yung counterpart mo dito. Ano ko lang i-shade ko lang, no? Yung counterpart mo dito, ito yung pinaka-cantilever beam mo. No? I-assume nyo na ito yung cantilever beam mo. Okay? So kung ito yung cantilever beam mo, based on our free body diagram, okay? Yung length nung ano mo, yung length nung cantilever beam mo is M. Okay? Yung load na naka-apply sa'yo is small letter F sub P. Okay? Based on applied load yan eh. Okay? Now, yung distance na to, okay? Yung distance na to is M. Yung distance na to is the thickness of plate or parang depth of beam na tinatawag. Okay? Now, kung gusto mo kasi i-define yung pinaka-moment or i-calculate yung pinaka-moment dito, which is yun yung kailangan natin. Okay? Yun yung kailangan natin. Moment acting on that. Ano lang yan? Basically from this load, okay? Kaya lang naka in terms of stress. Okay? Well, kung gusto mo i-convert to in terms of UDL load, no? UDL load na ang unit is kilonewton meter. Okay, stress to guys, no? This is in terms of in terms of sabihin nating MPa, no? Or whatever unit. Kung gusto mo nang i-convert yan in terms of UDL from F sub P, kailangan meron kang isang value na i-multiply sa kanya. Okay? Now, obviously, kung ito yung beam natin, cantilever beam natin with total length of M, okay? And total tributary width na B. No, yan yung tributary width niya eh. Okay? B. Para makuha natin yung UDL load, equivalent UDL load na distributed load in terms of kilonewton meter, ang gagawin mo lang, pwede mo sabihin na yung load, pressure load, small letter F sub P, multiply mo lang yan by a certain tributary, no? Tributary distance. And specifically, that should be the distance B. Okay? That should be the distance B. Now, if you would multiply that, meron ka makukuha unit and this would be this would be the uniform distributed load dun sa natin, sa free body diagram natin would now be in kilonewton per meter na, okay? Yung units. Okay? Now, assuming na this is the uniform distributed load W acting dun sa cantilever beam natin, okay? Obviously yung moment diyan, okay? Kung meron kang UDL, yung moment diyan is simply this equation, okay? Moment is simply 1/2 Wx squared daw. So saan ba nanggaling yan? Well, since meron kang UDL load dito na W, okay? Yung resultant niyan, okay? Yung resultant niyan is represented by W times yung total distance ng application, which is sabihin natin randomly this distance as X. No, halimbawa, so that would give you yung resultant niya, okay? Yung resultant niya guys, no? Ito 'yon would be double yung load, uniform distributed load W times yung X distance, yung total distance. Okay? Now, moment kasi, so ibig sabihin dapat meron kang moment arm. Yung moment arm mo is acting dun sa no? 1/2 nung total distance mo, which is X over 2. Okay? Simplifying, you would have W X squared over 2, okay? Which is also similar to this equation. Okay? Similar to that equation. Now, we could plug in expound this further by plugging in yung equation na na-derive natin from the uniform distributed load. Sabi natin, this is equal to small letter F sub P times yung tributary width na B. No? So plug in natin yung W. So ito na yung maging equation. Okay? And then yung X natin from this side, ang counterpart ng X is yung distance M ng ating base plate. Okay? So M squared. Okay? So tanda na lang muna natin yung pinaka-formula natin na yan. Okay? Okay, itong pinaka-formula natin na to and gagamitin natin ito mamaya. Okay? Now, paano tayo nag-arrive dito? Okay? Paano tayo nag-arrive dito? So, sige, ipakita ko lang to. Screenshot natin to. So, nag-arrive tayo dun sa equation na yon. Screenshot ko lang to guys, no? From this equation, okay? So, ang ginawa natin is, from this equation na na-derive natin kanina, dun sa, okay, so let me, okay? From this equation on bearing on concrete, okay? Merong similarity. No? Halimbawa, itong equation na to for moment at base plate, yung small letter F sub P, pwede natin kunin to. No? Pwede natin kunin yan. Ipa-plug in natin yung value na to. Okay? P sub N over B sub n dito sa small letter f sub p. Okay? So kapag pinagi natin yon, okay, yung lalabas na value is ito na. Okay? Okay, ito na. From this equation, okay, pinag-in natin yung value ng small letter f sub p, which is p sub n over b sub n. Okay? So the rest of equation, ito yon. Okay? So ngayon meron kang ma-cancel out. Specifically, yung ma-cancel out dito is yung side b. Okay? So magiging equation mo ngayon for the moment is p sub n over 2 sub n times m squared. Okay? Yun yung moment mo daw dun sa ano na to, sa bending lines na to. Okay? Now, meron na tayong dalawang equation ng moment. Sabihin natin equation 9 pala to. Okay? We could now equate yung equation 8 and equation 9 to calculate our nominal flexural strength. No? So, you would have this equation times this equation from initial derivation natin. And if we would rearrange this one in terms of the parameter t, okay, we would have the required t is equal to the distance m times the square root of 4 over b times f sub y times p sub n over 2 sub n. Okay? So ito yung parang formula natin. Now, we could simplify this further eh. We could simplify this further. No? So ang magiging equation natin, di ba sabi natin, area 1 is equal to b times n. No? Yung area ng base plate. And this one would be cancel out, magiging 2. Okay? So that would result to the thickness required for side m, which is t sub m, is equal to the side m, or sorry, length m, square root of 2 times the nominal load P divided by area 1 times F sub y. Okay? So ito na yung pinaka-final formula natin na dapat nyo na talagang tandaan. Hindi na natin i-derive on our calculations. No? So ito yung gagamitin natin. Sabihin natin equation 10. Okay? Now, gusto ko lang i-emphasize, yung derivation na to, naka-base to dun sa derivation natin, okay? Kung saan yung ating kinonsider na area is ito. Okay? What if yung area naman ay consider natin on another derivation is itong area na to. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yung side n or yung thickness n yung ma-generate natin. So, gamitin mo lang or sundin mo lang yung same way on the derivation. Ang makakalculate mo na thickness, okay, is somehow similar to t sub m. So, ito na yun, no? If you would focus on the b direction, you would have t sub n is equal to n square root of 2 p sub n over a sub 1 f sub y. So, parang parehas na parehas lang. Ang nagbago lang yung parameter dito sa labas ng square root. Okay? So, parehas na parehas lang. Equation 11. Just to take note lang, okay? Yung p sub n dito sa equation natin could be calculated as equal to p sub u over p for LRFD or p sub a times omega sub b for ASD. Okay? And similarly, gusto ko i-emphasize kasi bending tayo. Hindi na tayo bearing on concrete. So, ibig sabihin yung mga understrength natin magbabago na. And I think alam niyo na, kapag bending on plates or anything that about bending, ang understrength natin is 0.9 for LRFD. Okay? Yung P. And yung omega natin is 1.67 for AST. Okay? Take note lang for concrete bearing strength, it's 0.65 kung di ako nagkakamali and 2.31. Okay? So magkaiba yung gagamitin nating understrength kasi magkaiba yung mode of failure. Okay? So ngayon, meron tayong mga na-derive formula. We could now use that actually, no, to solve any problem. Emphasis lang, no, kasi sabi natin, dalawa yung thickness, formula ng thickness, T sub m or T sub n. So, usually, ang nag-govern doon kung sino yung mas mataas, no? So, yun na lang yung gagamitin natin. Actually, hindi mo na siya kailangan i-calculate. Mag-refer ka na lang doon sa value ng m and n. Kung sino yung mas malaki doon, siya yung mag-govern na thickness. Okay? So, bakit siya yung mag-govern? So, kasi baliktad, di ba? Kapag area or size ang usapan, pag meron kang iba't ibang values, yung maximum value yung mag-govern. Pero kapag load ang usapan and meron kang iba't ibang values, yung minimum value yung kukunin mo. Okay? So parang ganun yung logic. So dito, let me repeat, yung maximum value in terms of m and n, yun yung yung gagamitin natin. Okay? On our design or on our calculations. Okay? Sige. I think that would be the end of introduction. Let's proceed on example problem.